or some places are broadcasting it on the radio or on some sort of local TV channel. So that's really the nature of the resolution. And I sent it as an attachment to an email to y'all. It's fairly long. The beginning part of it, with all the whereases, talk about it's the legal background. And I can read it to you if you don't have it in front of you. I'll be happy to, or I can give you the thumbnail sketch of what it says. Either way,
I'm good with a thumbnail, Beth.
okay. Okay, so the beginning part recites that this is it's pursuant to the executive order issued by the government, a statement issued by the Finance Administration Cabinet, recommendations from the Cabinet for Families, Health, and Services, and an Attorney General opinion that interpreted these provisions and determined that during the present state of emergency, it simply wasn't feasible to provide a specific location for the public to view meetings. So what the resolution is, in essence, says is that once we've adopted this resolution, and the reason when I talked with KSBA that we decided that the screening committee needed to determine or to adopt their own resolution is because this committee isn't formed just purely by the board. It's a separate statutorily created entity. So Mr. Fogel, who is, he knows more school law than just about anybody I've ever met, he felt like it was prudent for the committee to adopt a resolution much like the boards did, just so that we could cover all of our bases out of an abundance of caution. So basically what it says is that due to these circumstances that when the screening committee meets, that they may avoid attending any meeting in person and shall attend via video teleconference when the circumstances warrant. You'll continue to follow open meeting requirements. If there's public discussion, we'll make arrangements to have it broadcast, but your meetings are primarily going to be an executive session, which are exempt from, being broadcast because they are, they're private and the information discussed during those meetings is confidential. So in a nutshell, that's what the resolution does. It does not prevent you from meeting in person if the circumstances warrant and members of the committee feel like it would be prudent to meet in person. I think the board's preference has been for the health and safety of everyone involved that you all continue to participate by video conferencing. But as a group, if you choose to meet in person, or some people meet in person, then you're going to agree to social distancing just to make sure we're keeping everybody safe. So that's what the resolution does. If we could have a motion to adopt the resolution and a second for that, we can make it official.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay.
Did Ms. Fleming make the motion? Is that who made the motion?
Yes, sir.
Who seconded it?
Either one.
Oh, Tracy.
Tracy's fine.
Okay. Well, I guess we need a vote by voice. All in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion passes. Ms. Bird, again, thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll go ahead, and that wraps up my involvement. And then just so everybody knows that here on this end, once you reach the point of going into executive session, you just give the word, we will cut the feed here, and then you all will rejoin on the link that you received from Stacy.
We got a couple of more things to discuss. It's an open session, and then we'll cut it. So to the screening committee, if you look at your agenda, the next thing on the agenda is the contents of the packet. You will look through there. The first thing you're going to see is a confidentiality agreement. You're going to see an initial screening process and tips. Well, yeah, you need to open up your envelope. Sorry. Thank you. That's a good sign. That everybody obeyed the rule. So as we go through the packet, I'm just going to go through and briefly tell you what's in there, and this is what we're going to go over tonight. You should see a confidentiality agreement, which we will come back to in just a moment. You'll see a sheet that says initial screening process and tips, which we will talk about. You'll see a bank of questions that we will consider for the candidates. You'll see a bank of questions that's for the references. And then you will see an evaluation form that has all 12 applicants' names on there. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment as well. So if you would go to the confidentiality statement, the confidentiality agreement. It has in red and blue at the top, KSBA. I ask that you read that, and I ask that you sign that now. Usually, if we're meeting person to person, I take that up and I keep that. I don't have that availability now. So if you would just take about a minute, read that, sign it, and please keep in mind that everything that we're talking about in just a few moments when we go in closed session is completely confidential. So when I see everybody's eyes come up, I'll know that everybody's finished reading and have signed that. Okay, a little bit about my role. I'm actually a consultant that works part-time for KSBA. The Henderson County Board of Education has hired Kentucky School Board Association to take the screening committee and the board through the process. My main role is two things. Number one is to make sure that everything we do is legal. And I'm not an attorney, so I sometimes converse with John Fogel, who Ms. Bird talked with earlier, or I consult with her. But we want to make sure everything we do is legal. But the main thing that I do is I take you through the process, and hopefully you're, as a screening committee, to present the best candidates to the board. And then in the final part of this, is the board hires the best candidate. We do not, at Kentucky School Board Association, we do not promote candidates. It's not our job to say you should hire this candidate over this candidate. We want you as a screening committee to make those decisions based on the process that we go through. So that's kind of what I'll be doing with you. The next thing we need to do at each meeting, the chair of this committee will conduct the meeting. So we need someone to nominate someone else or themselves to be the chair of this committee.
I nominate Sarah Fleming to be the chair.
Okay. Is there a second on that?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor of Ms. Fleming being the chair?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, for minutes, all right, anybody opposed? For the sake of minutes, because I have to keep up with minutes on this, who made, it's hard for me to see who says what. Who made the motion for Ms. Fleming to be the chair?
Jamie Light.
Okay. And who made the second?
Matt Glick.
Okay. Okay, now, Ms. Fleming, when we come back on in just a minute, you'll take us into executive session. But we're going to right now, I think before we close this session, everybody got a link yesterday from Ms. Fish, I think. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to close this session. And we're going to, Ms. Bird, are you still there? Okay, we're fixing to close, okay? And we're about to go to Ms. Fish's link from yesterday and connect up there. And then we'll go into executive session, Ms. Fleming, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see everybody in just a minute. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.